Hello, everyone. It's Tiffany here, aka Opinionated STEM, and welcome to another episode of the Good, the Bad, and the Absurd podcast, where I find interesting stories in research, science, and medicine, or in layman's terms, any reason for me to talk. Today, we're diving into research that hits close to home. The link between mass layoffs and data breaches. It's a connection that's been lurking in the shadows, but new research is shining a spotlight on this potential catastrophe, okay? Now, before we get into that, how many of you were affected by the cybersecurity incident involving CrowdStrike? While specific details about the breach remain limited, they were adamant this was not a cyber attack, but rather a software defect. Tomato, tomato, because this caused disruption across the entire globe, okay? Basically, any company that relied on Microsoft cloud services felt this earthquake and the aftershocks. Delta Airlines, blink twice if you need help. And I couldn't help but realize how many companies were affected until I Googled. And it's like I read all those names, and if I were to read them here, the episode would be over before it started. This was most evident at the airports. Delta, American, United, JetBlue, as well as international airlines canceled thousands upon thousands of flights. I even saw a woman in the news crying on the phone, presumably with the airline, possibly with the people she was supposed to be going to visit, as a buddy pass traveler who has been stranded. And yes, we make our own bed and we lie in it, but I digress. Grow up, okay? Just kidding, a little, but I get it, okay? To say this disruption was frustrating is an understatement. But more importantly, what this technical quagmire, I love that, did was spark a renewed focus on the importance of proactive security measures, incident response planning, and the ongoing evolution of cyber threats, which leads me back to the topic at hand. Disgruntled employees and the correlation to increased data breaches. Now, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but who's to say somebody at CrowdStrike didn't get the ixnay on the object? Only those fluent in Pig Latin will understand that. Let's look at the layoff landscape. So high-profile companies like Meta, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Salesforce have announced substantial layoffs in the recent years. Even smaller businesses, though, these job cuts are impacting millions. So a recent study from Binghamton University in New York, in collaboration with international partners Vietnam National University and Liverpool John Moores University in the UK, has unveiled a not so surprising correlation between mass layoffs and increased cybersecurity. The research team's theory is this: since layoffs create conditions where disgruntled employees face added stress or job insecurity, they are more likely to engage in risky behaviors that heighten the company's vulnerability to data breaches. And that was a quote. So a question for my cell phone carrier, AT&T, who did you piss off? But seriously, let's discuss why this theory might ring true. First, there's a human factor. Layoffs can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and even resentment among remaining employees. This emotional turmoil can potentially distract employees from their own security responsibilities. In a worst-case scenario, a disgruntled employee might even be tempted to take revenge by compromising the company's data, which we've seen happen multiple times. Second, layoffs often mean cuts to budgets, including cybersecurity spending. Fewer resources can leave systems more vulnerable to these types of attacks. And third, the rapid departure of experienced IT staff can create knowledge gaps, making it harder to identify and respond to threats. So the researchers are carefully examining data from companies that have undergone mass layoffs to see if there's a pattern of increased risk cyber attacks following these events. While it's still early in the days of the research, these findings could have major implications for how companies manage their workforce and how they maneuver in cybersecurity. So that's pretty much all I have for this episode. And I definitely put the T in STEM. So what do you think? Share your thoughts and insights. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. Make sure you follow me on all socials at Opinionated STEM. And for those of you who want my government, I'm on LinkedIn as Tiffany Drummond. If you have any research topics that you want to hear about, or you have a question in general about research, drop me a line. But until next time, peace.